For the first time in almost 3 decades, the West Indies cricket test team in Australia goes into the third innings of a match with their noses in front and the real possibility of winning the test match. Led on the first day by stubborn batting by Joshua de Silva and Kavim Aj, and to a lesser extent, Kemar Roach. For the 40 deliveries that Roach faced is very significant in helping a very positive Kevin Sinclair to make 50 on his test debut. And the cameo from Alzarri Joseph should never be overlooked also. After being bowled out for 311, Alzarri Joseph and Kemar Roach rock the Australian top order, leaving them 54 for 5. However, the match is nicely poised going into the third day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm very happy that you are here. Due to certain circumstances yesterday and situations beyond my control, I was unable to do a summary of the first day's play. However, West Indies have done very well so far in this match, and it left up to the captain Brathwaite and his batsmen to set a competitive target for the Australian team. This is very unfamiliar territory that the West Indies cricket team have found itself in Australia, but it is one that they need to get used to and make it be a part of their system as they look to take West Indies back to a level in Test cricket where the team is very, very competitive. So on the first day, which was Wednesday night, Caribbean time, 11 p.m. in Jamaica, and 12 midnight in the Eastern Caribbean, Craig Brathwaite won the toss and decided to bat first. There was one change to the playing 11 that played in the first test match, with Kevin Sinclair replacing his fellow Guyanese Gudakesh Motie in the playing 11. When the West Indies batted, they were rocked. At one stage, they were 63 for 5. But thanks to Kavim Aj, who made 71 batting at number 5, and Joshua de Silva, who made 79 batting at number 7, the two posted 149 runs for the 6th wicket. Incidentally, that 149 runs for the 6th wicket is the highest partnership against Australia in a day and night match, bar none. So it's not only the highest 6th wicket partnership, it's the highest partnership in a day and night match playing against Australia, bar any other team. Congratulations to Kavim Aj and Joshua de Silva. Kevin Sinclair, as I stated earlier, made 50 on his test debut and was very positive batting at number 8. When West Indies batted, Mitchell Starcs took 4 for 82 as he was the main destroyer of the West Indies innings. But what was to come last night, Friday in Australia? No one in the cricketed world expected it, as the West Indies bowlers went about rocking the Australian top order. They recover, just like how the West Indies recovered and post 311, Australia also recovered. And this is the beauty of sport, for no one wrote the script. If I was writing the script, Australia would not have made 100 last night. If you were writing the script, they would probably not have made 75. But the beauty of sports is that no one really knows how it is going to end. It's a game of glorious uncertainty. And so just like when the West Indies recovered, and no one expected them to, Australia also recovered. And thanks to Khawaja, incidentally, Khawaja is a 2023 ICC Cricketer of the Year. He made 75 and Carey made 65. Cummins also made 64. Alzari Joseph took 4 for 82, 84, and Kemar Rose took 3 for 47. So at the close of play on day 2, the scores are West Indies 311 all out and 13 for 1. Chanderpaul getting out in controversial circumstances of what turned out to be the final delivery of the day's play. For although the umpire said not out, somehow the third umpire think that there was a spike. I did not see any spike, but just to tell you that West Indies are 13 for 1, a lead of 33 going into day 3. So West Indies, I would say, have their noses in front. But just looking back at the Chanderpaul dismissal briefly, look at it on the screen there. I am checking it, but to me, there's clear gap between bat and ball there. And this image is courtesy of Cricket Australia. So look at it there. I am seeing clear gap between bat and ball, and I'm not seeing any spikes on the ultrasound when the ball was on the what they call on the snooker when the ball was passing. There, I do not see any spike. However, that was ruled as Chanderpaul being given out, caught behind of what turned out to be the final delivery of the day's play. I don't know if you see a spike there. Maybe your eyes are better than mine, but as far as I am concerned, I do not see a spike there. In other West Indies cricketing news, the under-19 team beat England in their final group stage match to qualify for the Super 6 stage of the tournament. I must tell you, I was not watching this match any at all. And for the second time it happened. As soon as I tuned in to watch the West Indies bat, Stephen Pascal, the West Indies captain, who at the time was steering his team towards victory because he was on 58 from 83 deliveries. As soon as I watched him switched on the TV and decided to watch the match, Pascal got out. I could do nothing but kiss my teeth and turn off the television. It was when I attended the West Indies press conference, Rich. I will be reacting to that West Indies press conference later on today. I will try to get the old crew here. And so we go over that press conference that Cricket West Indies had today about the MOU with the Players Association. Very interesting things coming out of that press conference. But it was at that press conference when Dr. Shallow said that West Indies won the match. That is how I know. Because as soon as I turn on the television, West Indies 149 for 5. Pascal, the captain of the team, got out. And I decided that I'm not watching anymore. And I'm saying to myself, unless I start watching the under-19 match from the start, I'm not going to watch anymore. I have to watch it from the start. Otherwise, especially if West Indies batting. Let's see what will happen if West Indies is bowling and I started to watch the match. But England batted first and was bowled out for 192. Hamza Shaikh made 54 from 82 deliveries. With that man again, Nathan Edwards, who incidentally was the player of the match. So Nathan Edwards got 3 for 28 from his 6.3 overs. And congratulations to Nathan Edwards. When West Indies batted, we reached 196 for 8 in the 41st over. As I said, Stephen Pascal made 58 and Nathan Edwards, anchoring the batting, he made 49 not out from 80 deliveries. Tazim Ali took 3 for 34 for England. So West Indies under 19 there winning their second match and qualifying for the Super 6 stage. Congratulations again to Nathan Edwards, who was the player of the match. He bowled a nice looking left arm pace, and he's able to get the ball to curve away from the left hand and swing it into the right hander. He reminds me a lot of someone like mid-start. But before I come to your comments, and thank you for tuning in, please slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button and share the channel with your friend as we grow this community. Just before I come to your comments, I really appreciate that all of you are here, and please tell me where you are logging in from. So I will go to the interviews of Joshua Da Silva and Kavim Hodge after the first day's play. Just a short clippings from those interviews. This is what Hodge has to say.
Did you feel a little bit more comfortable going out there today compared to last week in Adelaide?
Yeah, definitely. I was the first to admit in the last team meeting after the first test. The butterflies got the best of me. But now I'm a bit more relaxed. I could, work my plan and just enjoy the environment, enjoy test cricket. So I'm really happy with the time in the middle. So I'm just trying to be consistent as possible.
So there is a human being. Hodge is, and it was about an 11 minutes interview. Was it? I think it was about an 11 minutes interview. But I just take out that part, I will not be able to play all 11 minutes here. But he said something there that was very important. One, however, first, he showed his humanity. He said that I was nervous for the first match, and he was the first to admit that. It was a good interview by Hodge. I think he's a very intelligent guy. He comes across very intelligently, and I wish him all the best. He showed his humanity. I was very nervous in the first test match. But he said towards the end of that interview, and you heard it in that clip, consistency. And consistency is going to be the key for making 71 in the first innings. That's well and done. But he now needs to come back in the second innings and do better, and shows that consistently. It's going to be very hard. It is not easy against a relentless Australian bowling attack. But we demand consistency from our test cricketers. And Hodge acknowledged that he needs to be consistent. And he has to be consistent. And I'm very hopeful that he again give us another good innings in his second turn at batting. Just a second. The other person who I have to play his interview was Joshua Da Silva, who made that 79. And Joshua Da Silva was asked about the short pitch bowling and how he had decided to play those short pitch bowling. Here is Joshua Da Silva.
Short stuff. Did you have to change your philosophy a bit from Adelaide?
Yeah, expected. I knew after they took bump out twice in Adelaide, I knew they were going to come with a lot. So put on a chest pad this time and decided to duck from a few and just ride a few. But had to change it for sure. We've seen players change it mid-season, so it wasn't going well. So I needed to change the philosophy, and thankfully it worked a little bit.
So that was very good also from Joshua Da Silva. He again acknowledges that it's dismissals in the first test match, which I referred to as being brainless. And someone challenged me of calling Joshua Da Silva brainless. I did not do that. And you need to understand cricketing terminology. When it was a brainless dismissal, it didn't mean that Joshua Da Silva is brainless. And there, he acknowledges that he has to take steps to counteract the bouncers, the short deliveries that is being bowled by the Australian bowlers. So as you saw, he put on a chest guard. It was quite evident. He ducked some, he leaves some, he swayed out of the way of some, he pulled some. So he was very clear in his mind that if the shot is not there, he's not just going to take it on. He was referred to as a compulsive hooker, but he showed great maturity. Great maturity from Joshua Da Silva in picking the deliveries that he will pull at, those that he will leave alone, those that he will just sway out of the way or duck. It was a very, very good batting performance from those two. In that same interview, he expressed his disappointment of not getting an 100. But when you look back at Joshua Da Silva dismissal, he only had himself to blame as he played across a straight one from Nathan Lyons. But it was a good knock, however, and 79. Labachain once said that any score over 300 in the first innings of a test match is a good score. And it was proven again in the West Indies first innings. 311 turned out to be a very, very good score. Welcome to the show, the champion. Happy that you're here. This test match cricket, let's make Pat Cummins regret that declaration. Wow, I understand the tactics and they got a wicket, because you're saying that you declare, you give West Indies 22, you're saying they're 22 without loss. If we could get a wicket here in the night, it would be better for us. And they did got the wicket. So West Indies effectively are 35 for 1. But I really hope the champion that we can make it, let him regret it. Arjun Sharma, West Indies should have got a lead of 150 runs. Wasted all the effort of the first innings. Brainless bowling by Alzari. Economy of over 12 every time in test. Wayward bouncers, no Yorkers to the tail enders. Now, Arjuna, I want to say something here. I understand your position. Me too is a little bit disappointed at how fast Australia scored. I do not have an issue with Australia recovering and reaching up to 289 for 9 declared. But in my opinion, I think that they reached there too quickly. After being 54 for 4, I think too many of our bowlers were going for the glory deliveries. This is Shamar Joseph, Alzar Joseph, and to a lesser extent Roach. They were going for the glory deliveries, and the Australian batsmen were capitalizing on that. Except for Greaves, who goes at, I think, 3.5 runs per over, all our other bowlers went above 4 and 5. Shamar went above 5, Alzari went above 5, Kevin Sinclair went above 5. So my concern, though, is that Australia get to this 289 too quickly. None of our bowlers seem to go back into a holding pattern when they weren't getting the wicket. In old times days, we'll say peg it. None of the bowlers decided to peg it, and that is my concern. Not that Australia recovered from 54 for 5, but they got to 289 far too quickly. They should not have gotten there. Good day, Lou Prudent. Good day, Athena. Verdi Fiver saying, it is very nice to know you are, and thank you, the test match is in the balance. It is very nice to know, and thank you, the test match are in the balance. Thank you, Verdi. One thing about me, I try my best to call a spade a spade. I always try to do that. Merrick Meredith, my good friend, how are you, legend? Good afternoon to you. Lou Prudent is saying, I have been totally surprised by the performance thus far in this test match. But is it me? I find Brathwaite seems apprehensive when facing the Ashes quicks over these 2 test matches. Quite concerning. Yes, I agree with that position. It is not just you, Lou Prudent. Brathwaite have not inspired confidence so far in his batting in these test matches. Please remember to slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. Benjamin Ruger is saying, don't you have any tips for Chanderpaul? I remember you were giving critical tips about Hodges when they were in South Africa and West Indies. Yes, I am. I have some tips for Chanderpaul, and I'm going to go through them in another show and carry up the pictures just like I did for Hodges. And you saw one of the things that I was talking about Hodges, that he had stopped doing it. So Benjamin, I will definitely look at it. Brian H., welcome to the show. Glad you are here. We were unlucky today. Shamar Joseph almost had the wicket keeper for Australia at a single digit. and he went on to score about 65. Joseph literally hit the bail, but it was not dislodged. Crazy. Yes, and when I saw that, it reminded me of Brian Lara making that 400. Because you remember that during that innings of Brian Lara, Chris Lewis hit the bails came up out of the groove and dropped back in, and Brian Lara was not out. So it reminded me of that innings when I saw it. Vanity Williams, how are you? Still an open match, but the West Indies bowlers did well, agree. Now it's time for the West Indies to strive hard to bat a day and a half, set the Ashes as is in excess of 350. Then West Indies will have a chance. I agree with you, Vanity Williams. No issues there. Jupiter Saturn, how are you? Chanderpaul should not open. He should bat at 4. Already give my opinion on that. I think that if Chanderpaul is not opening, he should not play. That is my position. But again, Jupiter Saturn, you may well be right. Your opinion may well be the right thing. They may put him to bat at number 4 and he scored a double century and all of a sudden he's a star player. In my opinion, though, and your opinion, as I said, may be the right one. But in my opinion, I would not bat him anywhere down the order if he's not opening. That game gave me goosebumps. Mr. Casanova, welcome to the show. Last night, then our under-19s got me extremely nervous. Well, as you heard, I said, Mr. Casanova, after Stefan Pascal got out, is one delivery I watched in that under-19 match. As soon as I turned on the TV, Pascal got out, I turned it back off. I didn't hear the result until the president of the West Indies. I'm showing the images that I have. That's the images I have. So maybe you saw some other images. Isn't there a better opener than Chanderpaul in the West Indies? Needs to be dropped. Clyde Solomon, I do not disagree that Chanderpaul should be dropped. After the performances, I agree with you. Now, the important thing, though, is that the regional 4-day cricket tournament is coming up, and all the slates must be wiped clean. So, if there was a test match tomorrow, I would drop Chanderpaul. You got what I mean? But before our next test match against England, we are going to have the regional 4-day tournament. Should Chanderpaul be the top performing batsman as an opener in that tournament, we have to take him to England. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that is just my position. Hello, Mrs. Cricket Forum, how are you doing? Well done to the under-19 team. Mrs. Cricket Forum is saying, thank you very much, Mrs. Brown. I appreciate you being on the live show. Hotspot showed nothing. He was robbed. So let me see if Craig Kanai is saying that Chanderpaul was robbed, and Athena is responding. Patrick Davey, how are you? I'm saying the same as you, no spike. Okay, Pat, I am saying the same as you, no spikes. But what I saw, I show you the images that I have, and I never saw any spikes. And Arjuna believed that West Indies should make over 400. Do you any cares? I do not know what you mean by that. So please explain. And you're saying the echogram looks flatline to me, Sir Brown. It does. Athena saying it isn't obvious. Tony, how are you, Tony, my friend, the legend from Fort Lauderdale, from Florida? How are you? Why most players are getting out at slip? Is it because they are not moving their feet? If the coaches are seeing a pattern, the way they're getting out, how come they do not address it? Now, this issue, especially in the West Indies first innings, because I believe that in our first innings, I think the only person who get a really good ball was Kavim Hodge. I do not know that ball end up at slip, the ball that got Kavim Hodge, because you could have seen it curving in the air, and when it pitched, it's like it's straight in the back. So it was curving in the air, so Kavim Hodge was turning it towards leg, and then it straightened. nick off the edge, and go to Steve Smith at second slip. In my estimation, that was the only West Indies batsman that did not give away their wicket. I think, Tony, the real issue is that we are not executing. Why we are not executing? We do not have the ability to execute. How do we get that ability to execute? Work harder. Order, order, order. You see, like the innings after Silva and Hodge, they need to train for those innings. Yes, they need to get bowlers and bowling machine and train hard at that intensity for us to move forward. So those are some of the things that we need to do. Gerard Mead, welcome to the show. Happy that you're here. Glad to see you. I hope England is not that cold. Our batters play as if they are fishermen because they under the bat as if it is a fishing rod and continue to push their bats outside the off stump with little or no foot movement. I agree with you 100%, Gerard Mead. If you watch, as I said a while just now, if you watch all of those West Indies batsmen got out, especially from 1 to 6, from 1 to 5, the first 5 wickets, they all nicked off behind the stump, playing at balls that they should not have played at, playing at deliveries that was outside their line of sight. Patrick, I am Patrick Dave, and I'm from Devon in Manchester, Jamaica. Respect, Patrick. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. I appreciate it, Patrick. Thank you. You would have dropped him, Mr. Brown. Josh got out. So, Ian Connard, did I say I would have dropped him? I would not have dropped him. I would have played him by default. That's what I said, Ian. So don't misquote me. Don't misquote me. But it is good for Joshua Da Silva to turn it around for himself. Joshua Da Silva was not making any runs. So Ian, my good friend, he made 79, and I'm happy that he made 79, and I gave him his credit. But I cannot give Da Silva credit when he's not making runs. I have to say he's not making runs. And the last time Da Silva passed 30 in a test match was when he made a century against England almost 2 years ago. So I could not have given him credit. I'm happy that he has turned it around. And if there was someone who I think was better than him, of course I would have dropped him. But one of the things that I always said, and no one can accuse me of not saying this, I always said the 11 that is played, we have to back them and wish them well. Whether they are our favorite or not, we must back the 11. And I always said that, Ian. So, Ian, I'm very disappointed that you came to me with that. I'm very disappointed. Good day, Mr. Cricket Forum. I don't regret losing my night's sleep watching the senior team played on the under-19 beating England, British Virgin Islands. Thank you very much, Crystal. Don Prendergrass. Why is Chanderpaul still opening? He's not getting it done. Yes, so most persons agree that they will drop Chanderpaul. I do agree too that I would drop Chanderpaul. Evan Johnson, trust me, I never liked when we played with Australia or England. And Clyde Sukaman, how are you? Good morning. The presenter is from Jamaica. Yes, I am from Jamaica. I thought, Brian H. is saying, I thought that Shamar Joseph wicket loss was a tough ball as well. Yes, I want to thank you all for tuning in. It was a pleasure having you here. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. Please watch the match tonight and let us cheer on the West Indies team and see if we can get them to bat out the entire day again. If they bat out tomorrow and are 260, 270 for 6 or 7, that would be good because we would be almost 300 in front. And hopefully we can bat another hour and a half, and the next day and set Australia a target of somewhere around 350. And remember, I'll be back with you in a few hours' time, about 3 to 4 hours, somewhere about 4:30, 4:35, as we go through that interview with Dr. Shallow, Bascom Miles, and Johnny Greaves. They had a lot to say, some very interesting things. Increased money, increased retainer, multi-year retainer. It's all there in the interview coming up at just about 4:35. May God bless you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And see you then. Have a good afternoon.